No idea. What is it? Well, what was it? That's the question. This is sent to us by a viewer, Matthew, whose son received it from a teacher leaving the school, which is interesting, as a present, the other way around to normal. But what the son did was, of course, to model it up, and now we don't know what it should be, what its start position is. So I had to ask around amongst my friends, and one of them, I think, from Village Games, came up with a possible solution. Of course, these will be all gold and silver colours, but they've got this extraordinary feature of having beautiful centres, all gold, all metallics, and big thick lines around it. So I'm not so sure this is a solution. There's something else about it. I've got to ask a bit further around. But what it did is set me thinking about Rubik Cube or Twisty type puzzles from the earliest days. What have I got? So I did notice in the earliest days, when it first came out in about 1981, that the Germans produced a series of very pretty little things, which are all what I would call 2x2 Rubik Cubes. They all twist like this in a very elegant way, and you get some extraordinary shapes and transformations of shapes from all these ones. They are simpler, though, than the Rubik Cube, which is 3x3, but even so, they're fun. I like the idea of a house here which suddenly breaks apart and the roof goes on the side and so on. And perhaps a little more adventurously, they've had ones like this, which again is the 2x2x2 Twisty puzzle, or Rubik Cube type puzzle, and this one is Donald Duck getting thoroughly muddled up. Extraordinary, like that. But going back to the beginning again, when they first came out, I think quite a number of pirates came in very quickly, and this is a typical pirate copy, one of the first I've got in my collection from about 1982, I think it was. And like many pirate copies, when you start fiddling around, that's what happens. Well, it's because it got broken, I suppose. It's certainly a very pretty one. I like the finish of it with that lovely metallic, but it breaks too easily. The other thing is, which is an advantage, you can start seeing the mechanism inside, see how it works, and I like the idea of that. So, come right up to date, we've got something here which I've only just received last year, in fact. This is a Rubik Cube kit for making not a 3x3 or 2x2, but a 4x4x4 Rubik Cube kit. There we are, 4x4x4. And it's quite something, and to actually construct this would take quite a few hours, I think, but you'd have a wonderful intimate knowledge as to how the mechanism works, and works so smoothly and so well that Rubik had designed all those years ago. 4x4 is not a huge difference in construction to the 3x3x3 Rubik Cube, so that's the very latest one in the sort of Rubik Cube series. If I go back to the very beginning, though, my pride and joy from it is this one here from Hungary. A rather neat little way of hanging up too in the shop when you buy it. They're all in Hungarian. It's got a fairly standard looking Rubik Cube inside it, which is all those typical colours. But the special thing about this for me is here, which is it's been signed. Well, this is signed, would you believe, by Ernő Rubik himself, who I met in 1981. He was over in London to learn English at an English school, and I was showing some of my topological toys to him, and he signed this very kindly for him. And I reminded him just recently, about 3 months ago, I met him and had breakfast with him in Atlanta, and I said there were two things that struck me when we first met. He said, you must be very narrow to exceed in life, and he was certainly very narrow in his interests. And also he said he liked only the topological toys, the geometry toys, which is what these are, of course. It's certainly, it's set a whole industry going, so it's a wonderful thing to be able to have a Rubik Cube signed by Rubik himself, to think that this man started a whole age of puzzles, just from one person starting it, and it's a wonderful gift to have in my collection, so I'm particularly keen on this one.